Everybody, what it says, you gotta come find out. But I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be awesome. So we have a lot of stuff going on, and hopefully everybody shows up. We're selling VIP tickets through the tent through the SRI office at $25. Heated tent, food, and alcohol. So it'll be a good time.
And the kids' programs are all at Cameron Park, correct?
Yes, yes, from 6 to 8. Everything's down there. And everything is the Frozen theme. We have carriage rides, we have the Kingdom Kids puppets, we're going to have hot chocolate, we're going to have cookies made by the CSG Bakery. So it's going to be a good night. Slade keeps telling me it's going to be 45 degrees and it's not going to snow, so we're going to pray and listen to him. That's what he tells me, so it'll be good. So I hope everybody has a nice holiday and you all come out and join us for New Year's Eve.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you very much for the invitation. And I'm sure anybody here wants to come down and help you, can find something for them to do.
I'm sure.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
if I may address Mr. Reicher's comments about the manpower issue. Beginning of the year, and I feel like you should know how things went throughout the whole year. We had one officer who was out on sick leave due to a surgery. We had one officer get injured in the line of duty. We had myself was on administrative leave for an incident I was involved in. And yes, we had 2, sometimes 3 officers sporadically working the homicide case. There were a lot of shifts, and we did not want a lot of people to know this. There were a lot of shifts that where one guy was working. And I've addressed that with the mayor several times about that. As has the union, when I was in the union, we also addressed that also. It is not safe, nor is it conducive for the city. In light of what happened in New York City, I'm just letting the council know, I will not be letting guys working alone by themselves. People might think, hold the comment please, people might think it's only big city things that stuff happens. But I'm not going to be the guy that goes knocking on one of my officers' doors because we have one guy out working alone. And I've worked well with all of you on this budget, and we've worked hard. It has not been easy. A lot of nights were not slept for myself. I've known Officer Zerbe for a long time. So, just letting you know, that's the reasons why it worked, because there was guys working by themselves. And I don't think it's a safe practice that we should be practicing anymore. Thank you.
Absolutely. Way to go, Brad. Thanks, Brad.
Any other questions, comments?
Yes, council members, you said there was a 4 to 5 month period of time where either at the end of that, another officer is going to get laid off, or another officer, or the officer, Derby, is going to be brought back. What are the circumstances that will lead up to that? What needs to be done?
I think
Now,
between the chief and myself, we would have to come to council and sell them a program that says, here's how we can fund this. Right now, the 5 months is based on what Councilman Shipman said, is based on about $50,000. And it's about $10,000 a month per officer. So that's why we're coming up with May. So if we could come in and say, well, you know, we generated revenue by doing something, we're not going to spend this money, we found some other money, we can switch something, we can do something, that's the goal. That's my goal.
Are there any ideas at this moment in time?
If I had them, we had them in this budget. And we spent, we had 4 or 5 different meetings, we've had 3 or 4 different council meetings. We've been trying, but we're going to keep on trying. We're hoping something breaks at the beginning of the year, maybe something else happens. Maybe we end up with $200,000 of people paying their taxes in the next week and a half. You know what I mean? That'd be a nice dream, but that's what we're going to work on. If that answers your question. Yes.
Mr. Mayor, has there been any discussion, or is it possible that these officers can be kept on part-time?
There's no money in the budget for part-time.
Because I have to tell you, coming from a big city, I have noticed that the crime is increasing. And we do need more officers, at least, I guess, like volunteer people to help the officers in some sort of way. There, is a program that allows people to volunteer and work alongside the police officers, and they would sort of be in training, and they'd be allowed to make citizens arrests using handcuffs, but there is a training program that they would go through. I would like to suggest that, or at least look into it as a possibility. And maybe if you can't afford to bring them, to keep these two officers full-time, certainly part-time would help them in their financial crisis and hardship that they're going to face.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir?
Can you put a dollar amount on what, for the average taxpayer, the 2 mills will be, and then in addition to that, what the tax increase would be if we kept those officers?
Yeah, 2 mills, for the average property, 1 mill is about $20. So 2 mills is $40, 3 mills, 60, 4 mills, 80, 5 mills,
A year.
$100.
So to keep them both with 6 mills.
That's the average. That's if your home is assessed at about 15,000. If your home is assessed at less than that, it'd be a little less. If your home is assessed more, it would be more. If you have a business that's assessed at 100,000, obviously it would be
Thousands.
substantially higher.
So for the average guy, you're talking,
But the average,
$59 a month to keep our police force. And I don't have a problem with that.
But that's just for the city, then you got the school taxes, 9 times out of 10, they'll be raising, and how many other taxes are county taxes?
Okay,
But that's the decision.
all right, Mr. Saxon?
Greg Saxon. I'd like to know, first of all, whether any plan is in place to have the police pension fund, or whether you're addressing the $2.1 million underfunding. Is there any plan in place to begin to recover that money and get the fund fully funded?
You need to come to, we have pension meetings every month, or no, not every month, but quarterly. So the public meetings, you can come and ask that group there, they're doing things at every meeting. You can look at, you can hear the bank investment, you can hear everything that's going on in there. But another thing to your question is, the police contract is up next year, and of course, the pension will be part of that negotiation too. So that, to answer your plan, there's 2 things going, that plus the police pension board.
Very good. And the current arbitration that's been filed for by one of the policemen,
There has been nothing filed for arbitration by the police.
nothing filed yet?
No, sir.
Very good, thank you.
Welcome. Anybody else?
Yeah, I've got another question for John. Are you still going to give everybody a raise next year?
there's a raise in this budget for all employees that have been retained.
How much is that going to cost, John?
They average about 25 cents an hour, about $10 a week.
What's the total for the year for all employees?
For the non-uniform, it's about 13,000. For the officers, it's about 32,000.
How can we afford that?
Well, we can't, but we're locked into the officers. We have a contract with. We have no option.
And the rest of the staff, you got a contract
Well,
as well?
we could punish the rest of our employees with no increase, but we felt the 25 cents an hour is fairly modest.
Doesn't cover the health insurance, they went up, so they lost money.
Yeah, but that,
They're just trying to help with their health insurance.
non-uniform people contribute 7% toward their health insurance, so the 25 cent an hour raise will not cover the increase to the cost of their health insurance next year. So, without that raise, they would be seriously behind.
Okay, thank you.
I'd like to say one more thing. We're gonna be right back here next year at budget time, because the Band-Aid that original proposal would have put on there is bleeding right now. With the changes, it's bleeding. We're gonna be back here again with that money.
Any other questions? I do want to mention, and please pay attention to this, wards 2, 4, 6, and 9. If you live in wards 2, 4, 6, and 9, the owner-occupied homeowners in need of code compliance improvements, the home grant program that we have with CEDACOG. You can probably stop at Terry and get the number, I'll read it to you in case you get a chance, but it's Tim Brickley, 570-524-4491. I don't know how many people were on that list, but that's how it's done every year, is they pick out different wards, so it's 2, 4, 6, and 9. So if you live in those wards and you have the opportunity, you're a homeowner, and you need some money to help with some improvements, and I don't have the particulars in front of me, I'm just saying, but give Tim a call, or like I say, call Terry to get the phone number, so you have the opportunity to at least apply for it anyway, and see if you can get any of that grant money. The redevelopment authority auctions, there's going to be some January 10th. I'm not sure how winter auctions are going on, but I guess we're gonna hope one of those 54-degree days, I guess, is what we're gonna hope for out there. But that list will be broadcast in the paper, and the exact addresses, there's, how many properties?
I can read them off if you like.
Do you have them handy?
Well,
Okay,
I
you
have them
memorized.
memorized. We have 5 properties, 822 South River Avenue, 113 Chestnut Street, 149 Church Street, 216, 218 Spruce Street, and 218 North French Street. Those will be auctioned off between 9 and 11:30 on Saturday, January 10th. And the full details are being advertised in the paper.
And we keep an ongoing list of emails for people that show up and people that want to be contacted. If there's anybody in this audience that wants to get on that list, again, just get a hold of Terry at the city clerk's office, and that means we'll send you like 8 or 9 days before, a couple days, I think we do it twice, and let people know that they're coming up, so, and I mean, everybody's welcome to come, but that way we'll try to remind you.
Where's the authority at with the houses in South Front Street, John Wood?
That is still in court proceedings at this point. Yeah, it has not been applied. Yes, he's been working through it. We are, as far as the court proceedings go, we're waiting to hear back from the judge. I believe that there is an extension given to see what they do with the property, and we've only had a status conference at this point, so we will have a formal hearing on, I should say, oral argument on the preliminary objections. And it's moving through the court process, but it'll probably take us well into the spring before there's a resolution with that. But yes, you're absolutely right, the property owner has started to make improvements, so at the end of the day, it's a win. So we'll see what the judge wants to do with that.
Okay. The New Year's Eve celebration, I believe, was explained to you, so we don't have any questions. Mrs. Bennett.
I would suggest that the solicitor explain to Mr. Wright there how police complaint procedures work, so he doesn't embarrass the council by making ridiculous comments like he did earlier this evening.
Okay, we will do that in the future. Any other questions? I want to thank everybody for coming. Meeting's adjourned.
Honestly,
How are you doing?
Good.